Hello, friends. Welcome back to another edition of the Kumbi Jiku Show. This is your own GK Sports India YouTube channel. Thanks for subscribing and being avid watchers of all the shows we are up to. We are here to do the review of the last game which India played yesterday night at Vizag. India versus South Africa. Not a result which everybody expected, but nevertheless, there was a sharp shower, rain, and a delayed start. Toss not going India's way. But India batted first, managed a score of 251 and 50 overs, which was chased down dramatically by South Africa, winning by 3 wickets and 7 balls to spare. Jiko, opening comments on the result of the game and what you generally felt about the game per se.
Thank you, Sri. Thank you, and hello, viewers. It was actually a reality check for India in this World Cup. It was expected not to be an easy game for India because South Africa are semi-final contenders, if not final contenders. And though they have had good results in the past, like our Kumbi, Srinath always says, number game is just in the past, but it is what is on that particular day. And on that particular day, South Africa were on top. They played a very good all-round cricket, bowling, containing the Indian batters, and what a fantastic chase, especially by Nadine de Klerk. It was a game of 2 number 8s for India. India also in a spot of bother. Their top order and the middle order not clicking yet another game. But then India have been over-reliant, if I'm allowed to say, over-reliant on the bottom half and the tail to bail them out, which they have done in the previous 2 matches. But here also it was India's number 8, Richa Ghosh, who played a fantastic knock, took India to around just about 250 to make a match out of it. But then South Africa's number 8, Nadine de Klerk, was much better. She calculated the run chase, played in the gaps over the top where there were no fielders, and that clinched in the end for South Africa. A remarkable victory, a fantastic run chase, and India will be brought down to earth. Though I won't say they were flying sky high after the 2 wins against the Asian subcontinent rivals, but then it is now from here on that India have to play very well if they have to even go into the semi-finals.
True, Jiko. I think you summed it up in a very nice way. Well, I thought that, rain didn't have any sort of bearing on the, playing surface as such, devoid of grass, one of the best batting surfaces we could get to see in this current 2025 World Cup. Again, India got off to a good start thanks to Pratika Rawal, who's looking in fine form. But somewhere she also has to work around her game and ensure that she kicks on to make a big score. She's been getting into those 30s and 40s, not batting deep enough. 55 without loss in the power play. Again, Smriti Mandhana looked pretty scratchy and not her usual self. We all were hoping that Mandhana would make a big score, which would have a huge impact on the game, which didn't happen. Again, post the power play, she found the lone fielder at long on, to get out, holding out there. The bowling of Mlaba. But 55 for no loss, 55 India lost their first wicket. Again, the second wicket at 83 for 2. And from there, 6 for 102. I mean, you've covered so much of cricket and the world will acknowledge that be it Indian men or women, the subcontinent teams are one who are very adept at playing against spinners. Did you find it a bit strange when, the Indian batters struggled against, Tyron and Mlaba? Put together, they had 5 wickets between them and conceded about 78 odd runs in the 20 overs they bowled. Did you feel that, there wasn't any sort of intent either from Harmanpreet Kaur or let's talk about Jemima Rodrigues, or even Deepthi Sharma for a change, who got out pretty quickly, and even Harleen Dior. India losing those 4 wickets in really no time. And the spinners were all over the place. it normally happens when India bowls and have the opponent on the mat when our spinners bowl. What did you make of it, and what did India do to get themselves in that hole after the 55 for no loss start?
Right, Sri. Yeah, I thought India were perhaps overconfident that they could play the spinners well, and they were perhaps not aware of the fact that their left-arm spinner Malaba was coming from a four-wicket haul in the previous game that won the game against New Zealand. So it's they also perhaps though they have played South Africa quite often in the recent times. I would just put it to overconfidence and maybe playing too many shots too soon and not perhaps adjusting to the conditions, not settling down. Somebody like Jemima Rodriguez out for the second consecutive time, the same fashion, sweeping and missing. There's some work to be done. Smriti Mandana getting a start again, not making it big, out for 23, the same score as the previous game. Harmanpreet Kaur again. It's been the same story which has to be addressed so soon that otherwise India will being the home host nation, being the home World Cup, will find it difficult to go to the semi-final. I thought it was maybe playing too many shots too soon or being over ambitious, even overconfident against the spinners. Yes, they are known to play spin well, but then they should have read the spinners of South Africa and played according to the merit, because it was not a T20 game, it was a 50 overs game. And even if they took time, they consumed the deliveries, they had the batting power, firepower in Richard Ghosh and the others to follow to at least accelerate and put up a fight. But maybe they were just over ambitious. That's what I thought.
Well, 102 for 6 and looked like India would be bowled out within 50 overs, or they would be somewhere around 150, 160. But what a knock this girl played, Richa Ghosh. 94 of 77 balls, 11 fours, and 4 sixes. And those sixes were massive. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. When you've got somebody with that firepower in the lower order, I think she's too good a batter to be batting at number 8. And, Sneh Rana, again, 33 of 24, provided, the support to Richa Ghosh, and their partnership of 88 runs, gave India a total really that could pose a challenge for South Africa. But how long? We were in the similar position against, Sri Lanka in the first game, where it was Deepti Sharma and Amanjot Kaur. Even against Pakistan in the second game, we were in the same position. Now, do you think this act will continue, wherein there's a start at the top and the middle order failing, and the lower order coming to the rescue? I think somewhere, as you said, it's about time, the likes of Harmanpreet Kaur, Jemima Rodriguez. What I found pretty amusing was none of them used the feet to milk the bowlers for runs. When you have your mid-on and mid-off up, all that it requires is, like Richa Ghosh played a lofted shot over mid-on to push that fielder. Then you have open spaces to work the ball around. And when I was watching the game, when I was seeing those points of interception, none of them stepped out to play shots. I think when you say we are, the better players of spin, I think 20 overs of left arm spin, left a huge impact on the Indian batters. Well, when it came to the chase, the Indian bowlers were up for grabs, and at one point in time, South Africa looked going nowhere. Their main batters, especially the centurion in the previous game, Brits, got out early. A brilliant cotton bowled by Kranti Gaur. But again, there was a rearguard action from them. The first question I would like to pose, Zico, how well did South Africa plan their chase? And number two, always their men's team has this tag of being chokers, coming into the knockouts, not playing those big moments and, succumbing to pressure. Did you see a glimpse of that in this South African women team? Or, but for the brilliant 70 at the top by the captain Woolward, how did you look at the partnership between Brian and Nandine de Klerk, which was the game clincher for South Africa?
Certainly, yes. Perhaps the Indian women, the South African women are out there to set right whatever the their male counterparts have been doing choking and ensure that they don't choke. India had the game well in their hands when they had 5 down for about 81 runs. But then their captain, Laura Woolward. See, these kind of knocks is what the Indians were missing at the top of the order. You have a start, you make it big, you bat deep, and then you look at partnerships like she had with like she had for the 6th wicket to start with. But then India did not make good their starts, and perhaps they have lessons to learn from their oppositions, especially their opposition captain Laura Woolward. India's number 8. I thought it was a match between India's number 8 and South Africa's number 8, and the South African number 8, Nadine de Klerk, like you just mentioned, play in the open spaces, go over the top where there are no fielders, and that was precisely what Nadine de Klerk did. So it was a fantastic chase. It was a very well calculated chase. Believed in their abilities. Perhaps even she may be wondering what is she doing at number 8, Nadine de Klerk, because I thought she was a better batter than be playing at number 8. Perhaps even Richa Ghosh. But then perhaps that is the role that is being given to these individuals. Batter number 8 and battle the last ball or last over. Richa Ghosh did it very well, almost batting till the end, and Nadine de Klerk just winning it. Perhaps that's what made the difference. The partnerships, the India's last two wickets, 158 for 7th and 8th wicket, and South Africa's last 3, 171. That was the difference, and that clinched the match for South Africa. Yes, so it was something like the Indian bowlers, though they were spoken high of Kranti Gaud. I thought she was bowling too many loose deliveries and bowling too many full tosses or short pitches that Nadine de Klerk just grabbed it with both hands and dispatched them for boundaries and sixes at will. Richa Ghosh's 6-hitting abilities versus Nadine de Klerk's 6-hitting abilities. Both number 8 batsmen, South Africa, were the better team on the day.
No, one observation was, I saw Chloe Tyrone take a time, batted 66 balls to work her way into getting a 49 and stitched a partnership to start with Woolward, who batted for about 111 deliveries for a 70. But what de Klerk did with the ball, or rather failed to do with the ball, was, made up with her batting. 8 fours and 5 sixes, 54 ball knock of 84 not out. I think, that was an outstanding innings under pressure. Now, a question that comes to my mind, Jiko, is there was one change which we discussed and that happened. Amanjot Kaur coming in place of Renuka Singh Thakur. India played 3 spinners in Rana, Sri Charani and Deepti Sharma. Though Sneh Rana picked up 2 for 47, Sri Charani was miserly with 1 for 37. Not a good field day for Deepti Sharma, normally very economical and picks up wickets, went for 1 for 54. But what worried me was, between the 15 overs, the 2 fast bowlers bowled. That is Kranti Gaud and Amanjot Kaur, the makeshift medium pacer. They conceded 100 runs, though they picked up 3 wickets. When you play quality opposition, I think, do you feel it makes a difference? Because they picked Amanjot Kaur looking at their abilities to bat deep and make this batting lineup that much bit longer. But that didn't help the cause because India just managed 250. I can understand having Amanjot Kaur on the side and India getting to 300. That makes some sense. 300 would have been a different target. But do you think missing out on a proper, seam bowling option did dent India's hopes? Because India played with just 4 frontline bowlers and the 5th option always was a makeshift bowler. And mind you, we saw Harmanpreet come roll over arm for a couple of overs, which again, didn't look like there was any intent in what she wanted to do. Do you think this is an area which India needs to really work upon? Another proper seam bowling option.
Definitely yes, and you cannot leave out a quality bowler in Renuka Thakur in the first place. They kept her out in the first match, though she was on her comeback trail. But then she played the second match because of Amanjot's unavailability due to ill health. But perhaps they went with the flow that she is fit enough, so she come back and replace the player who came in place of her. But then it is now here that India will have to look at their bowling options, and you play your best bowlers in the 11. And Amanjot Kaur, mind you, she scored 50 years, but those 50 runs in the game against Sri Lanka were not without 4 lives. So those are the chances that India were living on. India should be going with their best bowlers, and Renuka Thakur, you cannot leave her out of the playing 11. Yes, maybe they went with the pitch conditions. Maybe they thought spin was going to be their key weapon, which maybe South Africa read better, and they calculated their run chase very well. Even Renuka Thakur on the day, if she was in the playing 11, she may have also gone for runs, but at least she gives the option of picking up wickets and maybe come back later in the overs, in the end overs, and maybe contain the run flow. That perhaps that was missing. And yes, seriously, India have to look at their bowling options and play their best bowlers in the 11 if they have to win matches. And the matches coming up are not going to be easy ones.
True, I think it's certainly a wake-up call for India, having come up against quality opposition and having lost out. But there's still a lot of cricket to be played in this World Cup for India. Currently, still Australia sitting on top of the table. 2 wins out of their 3 games, one no result. England, having played 2 games, are placed second. India still is in third position because of the net run rate, and South Africa at 4. I mean, moving forward, this looks like the composition that's going to make the top 4 in the table. But moving ahead, India's next game on the 12th of October at the same venue in Vizag. They play against the reigning champions Australia. Before we sign off, there was one line in the presser, the pre-match conference, where Jemima Rodriguez said, "We are not trying to look at playing a perfect game. The results are more important for us. As long as you win, and your key players are not delivering, this can go on. Now you come up against a good opposition. Again, your gun players don't perform. The result is on the other side. Now with the same sort of performance, you cannot expect India to beat Australia, the current world champions." So some positives out of the game: the batting form of Richa Ghosh, which was really a silver lining in this Indian batting lineup. Of course, again, the all-round performance of Sneh Rana. Maybe, bit harsh saying that, a bit off-color Deepti Sharma. But nevertheless, she also did her best, because you can't expect them to come out day in and day out, chips are down to come and perform. But at that level, you are expected to do so. So India, I think, need to up their ante and be at their top game. There can't be any slip up and then say that, we still have 2 more games to play, 3 more games to play, and still we can make a comeback. So with this, we come to the end of the show, the review of the India-South Africa game. Thanks, Chiku. I think you were spot on in most of your analysis when it came to the way India could have batted, and India looking at a proper fast bowling option, because India went in with 4 frontline bowlers, and they had the 5th option, which was a part-timer. So hopefully India will come up with a better performance, and we hope that the top 3 or 4 really fire for India to make up a big score. Well, we'll catch you on the other side for the preview of the India-Australia game, which is the big match of the tournament. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Thanks, Chiku, for your insights, as always, especially on women's cricket.
Thank you very much, Sri. Thank you. And hopefully, unlike what Jemima Rodriguez said, we are not looking at playing a perfect game, but looking for results. India, I don't understand, if you don't play your perfect game, how are you going to win the matches? So hopefully, play a perfect game and hope the result is in your favor. Thank you very much, Sri. Thank you. Bye-bye.